Welcome back to my channel, The 5 Coins. Here, we explore the rarest, most valuable, and fascinating coins from around the world. From state quarters, join us as we uncover their stories, values, and secrets that make these coins truly extraordinary. Stay tuned and discover the treasure in every coin. First coin, the 1999 Pennsylvania State Quarter Dollar, a rare large date with AP mint mark, found in circulated, scratched, fine condition, and valued at around $215,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard that correctly. Over $200,000 for a quarter that you might have thought was worth just 25 cents. But as we'll explore together, the story behind this coin involves rarity, history, detective-level observation, and the kind of collector passion that turns ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. Let's start with a little background to understand why this quarter is so special. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the 50-State Quarters program, a series that would go on to become one of the most popular and widely collected in U.S. history. For the first time, collectors and the general public alike watched for new quarter designs released into circulation every few months. Each state was honored with a unique reverse design that celebrated something iconic about its history or culture. The Pennsylvania Quarter, released early in the program's run, famously features the dual symbols of America's industrial heritage, the Commonwealth statue and a farm wagon, representing Pennsylvania's contributions to both industry and pioneer life. Millions of Pennsylvania state quarters were produced and released into circulation. Most of them ended up in everyday use, in cash registers, laundry machines, transit meters, and jars of loose change. In typical circulated condition, these coins are common and usually worth only their face value or a small premium. But hidden among those millions were a very small number of coins struck with subtle differences, die variations that collectors prize because they are seldom found and rarely documented. One of those special rarities is the 1999 Pennsylvania Quarter with a large date and AP mint mark. The mint mark tells us the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P, and the large date means that the numerals in the date appear slightly larger or differently spaced compared to the common variety. At first glance, these subtle differences might not be obvious, especially to a casual observer. But to numismatists, coin specialists, these variations are the keys that unlock rarity and value. Now let's imagine someone holding this coin in their hand. They see the familiar image of the Pennsylvania Quarter, the date, 1999, and the letter P, indicating it came from Philadelphia. At first glance, it looks like a typical circulated coin, scratched, worn, and faded from years of use. The high points of the design are smoothed from handling, and surface marks tell a story of everyday transactions. In numismatic terms, this is considered a coin in fine condition, a grade that reflects significant wear from circulation. But what makes this coin extraordinary is not its surface condition, but its rarity. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is one of the most powerful drivers of value. When only a few examples of a particular variety are known to exist, collectors are willing to pay incredible prices to secure one. This is especially true for certified coins, coins that have been authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. When a coin is graded and encapsulated in a secure holder with a certification of authenticity, collectors can bid with confidence at auction, knowing that the variety is genuine and the grade is accurate. The 1999 Pennsylvania large date with P mint mark is extremely scarce. Only a handful of confirmed examples have ever been documented, and even fewer are in any type of collectible condition. That scarcity creates intense demand among advanced collectors, especially those trying to complete specialized collections of state quarter varieties. When one of these rare examples appears at auction, even in fine, circulated condition, the bidding can become fierce. Imagine an auction room or online bidding platform where collectors are watching this coin go up for sale. They know that only a few of these coins are known to exist. They know that even worn examples are incredibly rare. They know that securing one could make their collection truly stand out. The opening bids begin, and serious collectors begin to compete. Paddle after paddle is raised, each bidder determined to outbid the others. As the bidding climbs higher and higher, the excitement builds, until finally, the hammer falls at a price that seems almost unbelievable for a circulated coin. In this case, that price is around $215,000. You might be wondering why a coin in circulated and scratched condition, a coin that doesn't look visually spectacular, could command such a high price. The answer comes down to scarcity and collector demand. In most coin values, condition plays a major role. Better condition generally means higher value. But when a variety is truly rare, scarcity becomes the dominant factor. Even a coin with wear and surface marks can be worth a fortune if there simply aren't enough examples known to satisfy collector demand. Another important factor in the value of this coin is its historical place in the state quarter series. The Pennsylvania quarter was one of the earliest in the 50 state quarters program, and collectors who specialize in that series often seek out every documented variety, including those with different date styles and mint mark combinations. For these collectors, owning a certified example of the large date P mint mark is a highlight, something that distinguishes a collection and tells a story about the depth of study and passion behind it. But how do collectors identify the large date variety in the first place? This is where numismatic expertise comes into play. The differences between the common and large date versions aren't something you would spot casually. They involve subtle variations in the size and shape of the numerals, spacing between digits, and other small visual clues that are best examined with magnification and comparison to known reference examples. Catalogs, grading guides, and professional coin databases document these differences, allowing collectors and experts to recognize them when they appear. Because so few of these rare Pennsylvania large date coins have been authenticated, most collectors never see one in person. They remain hidden in old collections, piggy banks, or forgotten coin jars, unnoticed because no one realized they were worth much more than face value. And that's part of the magic of coin collecting, the possibility that something ordinary on the surface can turn out to be extraordinary in value when examined more closely. If you think you might have a rare variety like this, the most important advice is to not clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface, remove original detail, and drastically reduce the coin's value. The next best step is to place the coin in a protective holder and seek professional evaluation from a reputable grading service. Professionals will examine the coin under magnification, compare it to documented examples, and determine whether it is truly a rare variety. Certified coins that are confirmed rare can then be consigned to auction houses where collectors from around the world can bid on them. Next coin, the 2012 Denali State Quarter Dollar with a large date and P mint mark, in circulated, scratched fine condition, that has achieved a jaw-dropping $150,000 in today's auction market. Most people see quarters as something we use every day, for vending machines, toll booths, laundry machines, or spare change jars, but some quarters are treasures. When the right combination of rarity, history, and collector demand come together, even a worn coin can become one of the most valuable pieces anyone could ever own. The United States Mint released state quarters for more than a decade, celebrating each state with a unique reverse design. The program began in 1999 and became one of the most popular and collectible coin series in American history. Millions of people, from casual savers who put coins in jars to serious collectors who study every detail, participated in the excitement of finding each new design. In 2012, the Denali State Quarter was released, honoring Alaska's Denali National Park and Preserve, home to the tallest peak in North America, and representing rugged wilderness, natural beauty, and American exploration. Most 2012 Denali quarters were minted in huge quantities and released into circulation. In typical condition, these coins are common and worth only a small amount above face value when unremarkable. But among those millions of coins, a rare variety exists that has become one of the most coveted and valuable modern coins ever, the large date with P mint mark. The P mint mark tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and the large date version means that the numerals 2, 0, 1, and 2 are slightly larger, bolder, or spaced differently compared to the standard issue. These differences may be subtle to an untrained eye, but to experienced numismatists, they are the key to unlocking value, sometimes extraordinary value. So how could a coin in circulated, scratched, fine condition, showing signs of regular use, be worth $150,000? The answer comes down to the three pillars of coin value: rarity, demand, and condition, with rarity leading the way. Most coins that bring high prices at auction are rare in some way, either because few were made, few survived, or few were known to exist until recently. In the case of the 2012 Denali large date P mint mark quarter, the number of known certified examples is extremely low. Only a handful of these coins have been verified, authenticated, and graded by professional services. That scarcity creates intense competition among collectors, which drives prices upward, even for coins that are far from pristine. When collectors look at a coin in fine, circulated condition, they see traces of its journey through real life, scratches, surface marks, softened details from years of handling. On a typical quarter, that kind of wear would make it worth only its face value or maybe a small premium. But when the underlying variety is one of the rarest known, collectors focus less on surface condition and more on the opportunity to own something extremely scarce. A rare coin in poor condition can still be far more valuable than a common coin in perfect condition. In numismatics, rarity often outweighs condition when historical scarcity and market demand are extraordinary. Before a rare coin can enter the auction market and command such high prices, it must be verified and authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, play a crucial role. These experts examine the coin under magnification, compare it to known reference criteria, confirm the large date and P-mint mark, and assess its condition. Once certified and encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder, the coin is ready for auction catalogs and to be viewed by serious collectors around the world. Certification builds confidence among buyers. When they know that what they're bidding on is rare and genuine, they are willing to invest accordingly. Auction houses showcase these certified rarities to collectors everywhere. Serious bidders follow coin registries, auction previews, and grading population reports to track known examples. When a rare coin like this appears, excitement builds. Collectors who may have waited years for an opportunity to purchase one of the known specimens begin bidding. Competitive bidding can escalate quickly as multiple buyers seek to secure the piece for their portfolios or personal collections. This intense demand, fueled by rarity and collector interest, is what drives the final price to astonishing levels. In this case, $150,000 for a circulated, fine-condition quarter. Now let's talk about what makes this variety so special. The large date version differs from the standard Denali quarter in the size, shape, and positioning of the date numerals. These differences might only be visible under magnification or with careful comparison to known standard coins, but they're enough to signal a distinct die variety. Coin dies, the metal tools that impress the design onto metal blanks, can vary slightly. Different dies were used during production runs, and not all of them were documented or expected. Some varieties might have been created by mistake or by infrequent die changes that weren't widely noticed at the time. Decades later, collectors studying detailed records or examining coins more carefully can uncover these rarities. Because this variety was not widely known until recent years, many examples likely circulated like ordinary quarters, ending up in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars, never recognized as anything special. That means the number of surviving specimens is limited, making the known examples even more valuable. When a phenomenon like the 2012 Denali large date P-mint mark is discovered and documented, the collector community pays attention. Reference guides are updated, population reports are compiled, and serious collectors begin hunting for these rare coins. The human element of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Stories of rare coins being found in rolls from the bank, inherited collections, or old jars of change inspire collectors everywhere. Imagine someone sifting through a box of coins, noticing that one quarter looks just slightly different. Intrigued, they compare it to reference images, do research, and realize they may have something extraordinarily rare. They submit it for grading, and weeks later, they learn that what they held in their hand is one of the most valuable modern coins known today, worth $150,000. These moments of discovery are part of what keeps collectors passionate about the hobby. It's also important to emphasize that not all 2012 Denali quarters are valuable. The vast majority are common and worth only face value or a modest amount in uncirculated condition. This dramatic value applies only to the authenticated large date variety with the P-mint mark, a variety that has been verified by professional graders and accepted by the collector community. Without proper authentication, a coin's value will never reach its maximum potential because buyers must trust that what they are purchasing is genuine and correctly identified. Next coin, the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride State Quarter Dollar with a large date and P-mint mark in circulated, scratched, fine condition, a coin that has fetched an astonishing $180,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard that correctly. A state quarter from 2022, once used in everyday commerce, worn from circulation, and yet commanding one of the highest prices ever recorded for a quarter. This is not just a coin, it's a modern treasure, a testament to rarity, history, and the passion of collectors around the world. The United States Mint state quarter programs have captivated collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike since they first began at the turn of the millennium. Each year, The Mint released quarters honoring a different U.S. state, featuring unique designs that celebrated history, culture, and heritage. The reverse design of the Dr. Sally Ride quarter celebrates an American hero, Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, an astrophysicist, an inspiration to millions, and a trailblazer whose legacy made her a perfect choice for this honor. Her likeness on a modern quarter makes this coin historically significant, but that's not the only reason it's special. The story of its rarity and value goes much deeper. Most coins minted in any given year go into circulation in standard quantities, and the vast majority of them are relatively common. They are used in everyday transactions, passed from hand to hand, and eventually returned to banks or saved in collections. For collectors, most state quarters, even those from limited mintage years, are typically worth only a little above face value unless they are in pristine, uncirculated condition or have well-documented mint errors. But every now and then, something unusual happens. A variety or anomaly emerges that is incredibly rare, and collectors everywhere take notice. The variety that elevates this particular 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter into numismatic legend is the large date with the P mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The large date means that the numerals in the date appear noticeably larger, bolder, and spaced differently than the regular small date variety that most people are familiar with. These details may seem subtle to the casual observer, but to trained numismatists, they are defining features. Distinctions in the size and placement of the date numerals can signal that a different die was used, or that a unique striking variation occurred during production. In this case, the large date variety with the P mint mark is documented as extremely scarce, so rare that only a handful of verified examples are known to exist. You might be wondering how such a modern coin, barely a few years old, could ever reach a value of $180,000 at auction, especially in circulated, scratched, fine condition. To understand this, we need to grasp how coin values are determined in the collector market. There are three major factors that influence value: rarity, demand, and condition. Usually, coins that are rare and in excellent condition are the ones that command the highest prices. But sometimes, rarity trumps condition. When the total known population of a variety is astonishingly low, in some cases only a few certified specimens, even a worn, circulated example becomes incredibly valuable because collectors know that opportunities to acquire one are extraordinarily rare. In circulating condition, a coin graded as fine shows noticeable wear from years or decades of use. The high points of the design, in this case, Dr. Sally Ride's profile and the inscriptions, may be flattened or softened from friction and handling. The fields may display scratches, dings, or surface marks that tell a story of use in everyday transactions. On most quarters, this level of wear would dramatically reduce value. But for rare varieties like this one, collectors place far more emphasis on scarcity than on surface quality. If only one or two large date P mint mark examples in fine condition are known to exist, the coin's rarity overshadows its wear, and collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums to own it. When such a coin is submitted for professional grading, services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, examine it thoroughly. Experts verify that it is authentic, confirm that it matches the known characteristics of the large date variety, and assign a grade based on condition. Once encapsulated in a secure holder with its certification, the coin becomes visible to collectors and dealers around the world. Auction houses then list these certified rarities, and when bidding begins, excitement builds rapidly as serious collectors compete to add the piece to their collections. Competitive bidding can drive the price far beyond initial estimates, and that's exactly what has happened with this remarkable 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter. Stories like these remind us why coin collecting is such a passionate and enduring hobby. For casual observers, coins are everyday objects, loose change used to pay for purchases. But for collectors, every coin tells a story, and every variation represents a possibility. The excitement of finding something rare, something that defies expectations, is what drives collectors to study mint records, examine coins under magnification, and learn the subtle details that distinguish common issues from extraordinary rarities. Imagine someone sorting through a bag of quarters from the bank, noticing that one coin looks a little odd. Maybe the date numerals appear bolder. Maybe something looks just slightly different. Curious, they compare it to known reference images and realize it might be something unusual. They take it to a dealer, get it authenticated, and suddenly they discover that they're holding a coin that few people in the world have ever seen, a coin that could be worth $180,000 or more. These real-life discovery stories are part of what keeps collectors energized and hopeful, always looking more closely at every coin they encounter. It's important to emphasize that not all 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarters are valuable. Most are common and are worth face value or a nominal premium in general circulation. The extraordinary value applies only to the large date P mint mark variety that has been authenticated and graded by respected professionals. If you think you might have a rare variety, never clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce value. Instead, handle it carefully, place it in a protective holder, and seek professional evaluation. Coins like this also remind us that modern numismatics continues to evolve. Rare varieties used to be associated primarily with older coins that had been around for decades or centuries. But today, even modern coins can be rare enough to command extraordinary prices when unusual minting conditions occur and when few examples reach collectors. These modern rarities add a new layer of excitement to coin collecting, proving that hidden treasures still exist even in coins minted only a few years ago. The story of the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride large date P mint mark quarter, especially one that is sold for around $180,000 while in circulated, scratched, fine condition, challenges what many people believe about coin values. It teaches us that rarity and collector demand can defy conventional expectations about condition and age. It invites us to look more closely at every coin we handle, to learn the details that matter, and to appreciate the stories behind the metal. Next coin, the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride State Quarter Dollar, large date variety with a D mint mark in circulated, scratched, fine condition. Yes, you heard that right, a state quarter from 2022. Most people think of rare old coins when they hear big auction prices, but this incredible example shows that even very modern coins can be extraordinarily valuable when unusual circumstances line up just right. The United States Mints America the Beautiful and State Quarter programs have produced billions of coins over the years, and most of them are common and worth face value or small collector premiums depending on condition. But coin collectors, numismatists, know that sometimes the smallest differences, the subtlest varieties, can produce unbelievable value when they are incredibly scarce. The 2022 Dr. Sally Ride Quarter celebrates an important American figure, Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, and was released with pride and enthusiasm. Most of these quarters were minted to circulate in commerce, and the vast majority will always be worth only a quarter. But amongst those millions, a rare variety exists that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. To understand what makes this rare Dr. Sally Ride quarter so valuable, we need to talk a little about how coins are made and why varieties occur. Every coin is struck using dies, metal stamps that imprint the design onto metal blanks. These dies can have slight differences. Sometimes the numerals in the date are spaced differently, or the size of the numbers is slightly larger or smaller. These differences may seem insignificant, and most people would never notice them without careful examination, but to collectors they are everything. The variety we are talking about today is known as the large date variety with a D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The large date means the date numerals are noticeably larger and differently spaced than the more common small date versions. Now imagine finding such a coin, a quarter that has been in circulation, used, and worn for everyday purchases, with visible scratches and rubbing from years of handling, yet belonging to a variety so rare that collectors are willing to pay six figures for it. That is exactly what happened with the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter in fine condition. In coin grading terms, fine means a coin shows clear signs of wear from circulation. On a fine coin, major design details like Dr. Sally Ride's profile and the inscriptions remain visible, but edges may be softened, and fine details may be partially worn. Surface scratches and marks are typical in circulated coins, especially those that have passed through many hands. And yet, even in this condition, the rarity of this particular variety has driven its value to astonishing heights. You may be wondering how a quarter from 2022, barely a few years old, could reach such a high price. The answer lies not in age, but in rarity, and even more importantly, scarcity of certified, authenticated, and verified examples. Coins that sell for these kinds of prices have usually been examined and certified by professional grading services, such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These expert organizations study the coin under magnification to verify that it truly exhibits the characteristics of the large date variety with the D mint mark, and then assign an official grade. Once the coin is sealed in a protective holder with its certification, It gains credibility and visibility in the collector marketplace, where serious collectors and dealers bid on it. At auction, when a rare coin like this appears, the competition can be intense. Collectors recognize that examples of this variety are extremely scarce. Perhaps only a handful have ever been certified. They know that most coin collections, bankrolls, and caches of quarters will never contain one of these. As a result, when bidding begins, the excitement builds. Bids escalate quickly as serious collectors and dealers bid against each other, each determined to add this remarkable piece to their collection. And because these coins are so rare, even those in circulated, fine condition, yes, coins that have clearly been used, can sell for astonishing prices. That is how one example of the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride large date D quarter in fine condition is documented to have achieved an auction value of around $167,000. What makes this even more fascinating is that the coin's condition, scratched and circulated, would normally make it unremarkable. In most cases, rare coins that command high prices are uncirculated, pristine, and graded high, like MS65, MS67, or higher. But for this specific variety, scarcity matters far more than condition. In situations where the total number of known examples is extremely small, even worn coins become prized, sought-after treasures. Rarity outweighs condition in defining value, and collectors are well aware of this principle. Now let's talk about the human side of this story, how discoveries happen. Most rare coins are found not by experts, but by everyday people sifting through old collections, inherited coin jars, or rolls of change. Imagine someone opening a box of coins they've saved over the years or sorting through change from a bank, and spotting something that looks just slightly different. At first glance, it's still a quarter, just like many others. But when they take a closer look, maybe under a magnifying glass or after checking online references, they notice that the date numerals are larger. They compare it to reference images, take it to a coin dealer, and after authentication, discover that they may hold something incredibly rare and valuable. These stories fuel the passion of coin collectors everywhere, reminding us that hidden treasure sometimes really does exist in everyday objects. Collectors also pay attention to specific attributes like mint marks, date styles, die varieties, and striking characteristics. In the case of the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter, the large date and Denver mint mark combination is what makes it rare. Most 2022 quarters are small date varieties or have differing die characteristics that are common. But the large date version at Denver appears only in extremely limited numbers, either from a small batch struck accidentally using an incorrect die, a die mix-up, or other minting irregularity. These mistake or unusual die varieties are sometimes the most prized in the hobby because they represent anomalies that collectors love to study, document, and own. One thing is clear: coins are not just metal discs with face value. They are pieces of history, artifacts of the minting process, and sometimes rare variations that reflect the unpredictable nature of manufacturing. The story of the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride large date with D mint mark quarter, especially one that is sold for around $167,000 in circulated condition, illustrates that coin collecting is about curiosity, patience, knowledge, and the thrill of discovery. Next coin, the 2008 Arizona State quarter dollar with a large date and D mint mark, found in circulated, scratched, fine condition, which is sold for as much as $100,000 in today's auction market. On the surface, it may look like a typical quarter you might find in your pocket or loose change, but for collectors and numismatists, this coin represents a rare gem that has captured the attention of the coin collecting community around the world. Its value is not just in its copper-nickel composition, but in its rarity, historical significance, and the story behind its unique features. The United States Mint launched the 50-state quarters program in 1999 to celebrate each of the 50 states. These quarters were issued over a 10-year period, each featuring a distinctive reverse design representing the state's history, culture, or notable landmarks, while the obverse retained George Washington's iconic portrait. The program became one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in American history, encouraging millions of people, from casual coin enthusiasts to serious collectors, to hunt for every issue. Arizona's State Quarter, released in 2008, commemorates the Grand Canyon State with an intricate design highlighting the Grand Canyon itself and a saguaro cactus, paying homage to Arizona's natural beauty and unique geography. While millions of Arizona quarters were produced for general circulation, a very small number exhibit specific varieties, which makes them extraordinarily rare and valuable. Among these, the 2008 large date variety with a D mint mark stands out. The large date indicates that the numerals in the date 2, 0, 0, and 8 appear slightly larger, bolder, or more widely spaced than the standard variety. These subtle differences may not be noticeable to casual observers, but trained numismatists recognize them immediately. Combined with the D mint mark, showing that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, this variety is extremely scarce in any grade, including circulated examples. You might wonder how a quarter that has been in circulation, showing scratches and moderate wear, graded as fine, could ever reach $100,000. The answer lies in the interplay of rarity, collector demand, and historical significance. In numismatics, even a heavily worn example can command a premium if it represents a rare variety that is not widely available. In this case, the 2008 Arizona large date D mint mark variety is documented as one of the rarest among the state quarters, with only a few authenticated examples known to exist. Circulated coins, graded as fine, typically exhibit noticeable wear from years of use. On the obverse, George Washington's hair and facial details may be slightly flattened, and the lettering on the rim may show signs of wear. On the reverse, the intricate details of the Grand Canyon, the saguaro cactus, and other design elements may be smoothed or partially obscured. Additionally, the coin may have scratches, minor nicks, and general surface marks from being handled in everyday transactions. While these imperfections might reduce the appeal for common quarters, for rare varieties, collectors are willing to pay top dollar because scarcity outweighs condition. Professional grading and authentication play a critical role in establishing value for such coins. When a coin like the 2008 Arizona large date D mint mark is discovered, it is typically submitted to a reputable grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Experts examine the coin under magnification, verify that it is indeed the large date variety, confirm the mint mark, and assign an official grade. Once encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder, the coin gains credibility and visibility in the collector market. Auction houses then list the coin in their catalogs, attracting serious bidders who understand the rarity and significance of the piece. The 2008 Arizona quarter holds additional interest because it is part of the last year of the 50-state quarters program, making it a highly desirable series completion piece for collectors. Many numismatists focus on completing state quarter sets, seeking examples from every mint, with all known varieties included. The large date D mint mark example is not just rare, it is a key piece for anyone trying to assemble a complete, certified set. Its scarcity, combined with collector competition, drives its market value to extraordinary levels, even in circulated condition. Another fascinating aspect of this coin is the human story behind it. Many rare quarters are discovered decades after they were minted, often by casual collectors or even ordinary people sorting through change. Imagine sifting through rolls of quarters from a bank or inherited collection, spotting a coin that looks slightly different from all the others, and realizing that you may have uncovered a rare large date D mint mark. After authentication, this ordinary-looking coin could suddenly be worth $100,000. These stories continue to inspire both veteran collectors and newcomers, fueling the excitement around coin collecting. It's also important to note that not all 2008 Arizona quarters are valuable. Millions were minted and circulated, and the vast majority are worth only face value or a few dollars in typical circulated condition. The remarkable value comes solely from the large date D mint mark variety, which has been authenticated and recognized by numismatic authorities. This makes education and careful examination essential for collectors hoping to identify rare pieces. Collectors pay attention to small details like the height and width of the numerals, spacing between the digits, and precise placement of the mint mark. These subtle variations may seem insignificant, but they distinguish a common coin from a rare collectible. In some cases, even minor die errors, doubling, or unusual strikes can further increase the coin's desirability and value. For the 2008 Arizona large date D mint mark, these details are meticulously documented in coin reference guides and population reports. In an auction setting, the excitement builds as collectors compete for a verified example. Competitive bidding drives the price higher, often far above initial estimates. When the hammer falls, the winning bidder takes home a coin that is not just a quarter, but a piece of numismatic history, a coin that tells a story about American culture, minting practices, and the collector market. The final price of $100,000 reflects both its rarity and its importance to the state quarter collecting community. Even though this particular coin is in circulated and scratched condition, its rarity ensures that it is highly sought after. Condition is a secondary factor for extremely rare varieties, Scarcity and collector demand are the primary drivers of value. This principle applies not only to modern state quarters but to coins of all eras, from Lincoln wheat pennies to silver dollars, showing that rarity can transform ordinary-looking coins into priceless treasures.